Okay, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into a really potent chapter, Psalms 32.
hmm Potent is a good word. It gets right to the heart of things.
It really does. And it kicks off immediately with this core promise, this idea of being blessed.
Yeah, right there in verse 1. And it defines blessed in a very specific way, doesn't it? Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven.
Whose sin is covered.
Exactly, covered. And also, blessed is the person whose spirit has no deceit.
So it's like a two-part thing. Forgiveness from God, yes, but also this internal honesty. No deceit within yourself. That's the foundation for this blessing it talks about.
It is. But then almost immediately the psalm pivots. It shows you the flip side.
Right. What happens when you don't have that forgiveness, when you keep quiet about the sin?
And it's intense.
Yeah.
The description is physical, almost painful.
Oh, absolutely. It talks about bones wasting away, groaning all day long. It's not just a mental burden.
No, it's like your whole body feels it. And that line about feeling God's hand heavy on you.
Yeah, day and night, and your strength just gets sapped, like being dried out by summer heat. It's incredibly vivid.
It really paints a picture of the misery of unconfessed sin. But thankfully, it doesn't leave you there,
No, it shows the way out, the turning point,
which is,
acknowledgement, confession. It says, "Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity."
and the commitment. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord. It's that decision, that action,
And the result is just immediate.
instantaneous, yeah. And you forgave the guilt of my sin. Not just the act, but the guilt itself. Lifted.
Okay, so forgiveness happens. What does that then sort of unlock or enable for the person?
Well, the psalm says that because of this, the godly person can pray. They can find God in prayer.
And there's this promise of safety, right? When
Yeah.
the mighty waters rise, chaos, trouble.
They won't reach them. That's the promise. There's a security that comes with being right with God.
Which ties into the next idea, God as a hiding place.
Protection. He keeps you from trouble.
And more than just protection from something, it's being surrounded by something positive. Songs of deliverance. Quite a shift from the groaning earlier.
Totally different atmosphere. From internal agony to being encircled by rescue. And it builds from there.
How so?
Well, after the hiding place and the deliverance, God speaks directly. There's a promise of guidance.
Yes. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go.
I will counsel you and watch over you. It's personal direction. Ongoing care.
Okay, so you get forgiveness, protection, deliverance, and now guidance. But then comes this warning.
Yeah, a really striking comparison. Do not be like the horse or the mule.
Why those animals?
Because, as the text says, they have no understanding. They have to be controlled by force.
The bit and bridle. But external pressure is needed because they won't come willingly or understand why.
Exactly. So the implication is, God's guidance isn't meant to be like that. It's for those who want to understand, who trust willingly.
It's an invitation to cooperate through understanding, not just react to force. A huge difference in relationship.
A massive difference. And the psalm finishes by contrasting the two paths, the two outcomes.
Right. On the one hand, many woes for the wicked, presumably those who resist understanding, who don't trust.
But on the other, the Lord's unfailing love surrounds the man who trusts in him. It comes back to trust.
So wrapping this up for you, we've traced this incredible journey in Psalms 32, starting with the heavy burden of hidden sin.
Moving through the absolute release and freedom that comes from confession and forgiveness.
Seeing the promises of God as a hiding place, a deliverer, and a personal guide.
And landing on this crucial distinction between needing force, like a mule, and choosing to trust and understand.
It really maps out a path from inner turmoil to being surrounded by God's love and guidance.
All pivoting on that moment of honest confession and trust.
So let's leave you with this thought, directly from the text we've explored. What does it really mean practically in your life to trust in a way that doesn't need a bit or bridle?
Yeah, how does seeking to understand and offering that willing trust actually change the way you walk your path compared to needing that external pressure, that feeling of being controlled? Just to stay on course, something to think about.